All right, welcome back. This is our third Swampcast that we're doing on this wrap-up of the regular season. And we appreciate everybody for clicking on, and we've had a good time doing it. It's kind of fun to look back at what was a very good season. You know, Robbie at 10-2. Not only that, but, you know, it's funny. I heard a lot of people complaining about this bowl game. Oh, it's Virginia. I wish we got a better team. You know, I'm like, dude, 2 years
Major
ago.
bowl game.
Where were you 2 years ago?
I know.
You're sitting on a couch.
Yeah,
You're
4-7.
I mean, this is a huge deal that they're playing this game, and I know nobody wants it to be Virginia, but what do you? I mean, what difference does it make if it gives you a better chance to win the game anyway?
But speaking of fickle fans, Pat, after the Georgia game the other night, the championship game, Florida fans were tweeting, bitching about how Florida blew it by not beating that Georgia team. So it was all on the coaches.
Yeah, well, of course.
I mean, unbelievable.
Of course, the Georgia team didn't have Lawrence Cager, who destroyed you in the game. They didn't have a healthy DeAndre Swift. They didn't have other reasons. They lost Blaylock. Forget it. Look, you got about where you should be for this season. In fact, I think you overachieved considering all the injuries.
Yeah, I mean, before the year, you said 10-2. I think anybody would have taken that.
Well, I would have. Anyway.
I would have.
So here we go. We're going to go with our first of our we weren't planning on going on a rant like that. The first of our...
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. Things happen. This is live. Or no, it's not live, but it's not...
It is for us right now.
This is scripted. It's not scripted. All right. 6 more of these, and here we go. Best defensive performance of the year for Florida this season.
When you look at the magnitude of the game, top 10 matchup, the Auburn game, Pat. They dominated that game. They gave up a couple of plays that kept Auburn kind of in it, but that defense dominated that game, dominated the line of scrimmage, a veteran Auburn offensive line. To me, the defense won that game. It was a huge game, a turning point kind of in the program under Mullen.
And as you said at the time, they made Bo Nix look like a freshman.
They really did. And he hadn't before that game.
The irony is, all those 5 stars at Alabama couldn't do anything with him.
No, I know.
Yeah, you know. So
that win looks better and better.
And that was definitely, to me, the best win or the best defensive performance.
Yeah.
But I also, for some reason, it sticks with me, that Vandy game, because Vandy had players.
But they didn't have a quarterback.
They only had 3 of them. No, that was the problem.
Yeah.
They didn't have 11.
And they had no quarterback.
But still, to shut it out and to get 3 shutouts. Shutouts are hard to get.
Yeah.
You know, the third team gets in there and they give up a kick return or something like that. So shutouts are hard to get, but I can't disagree with you.
But again, Pat, because but with the Vanderbilt game, I think everybody plays good defense against them. But it was a great performance.
But again, you're talking about Lipscomb, who's a good player.
I know.
He's a good player.
And they were no factor in the game.
They were no factor. Keyshawn Vaughn was no factor in the game. So that was their problem, though. That's all they had.
Yeah, no quarterback.
All right, next up, best road win for Florida this year.
I'm going to say Missouri, Pat, because they had that kind of thing going where, Florida can't get past Missouri.
Right.
They hadn't played well out there. 2 years ago, they just laid a complete A and got embarrassed. So that was a game they really had to win, and they went out there and played solid and came back with a W.
Yeah, 2-4 against Missouri in the last 6 games.
Yeah, that's the team that's owned them a little bit.
And they didn't, there was no real reason. I mean, but... Drew Lock was the reason for 2 of those games, but 2 of the other ones he played terrible.
Yeah,
so,
that one game, that first was awful.
He was awful. But yeah, that was a huge win. But I still will go to the Kentucky game just because of the magnitude of what happened and how that season was changed by that game. Because who knows what happens if Florida doesn't rally? Who knows what happens? Heck, if Kyle Trask doesn't end up in the game, if they go with Emory Jones instead at that point. To win that game, not only you're out of the SEC East race if you lose to Kentucky, which they kind of were last year. But that was the game to me.
But you're right. Who knows? Where does the season go if they don't win that game? And we were all in that press box in the second half thinking this game is over. We all thought it was over.
Like it.
And I know Kentucky people thought it was over too.
They did, yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they did. I just know that we were, like we were saying earlier, we were writing stories.
Yeah.
You would not want to have read those stories. They were pretty
No, they weren't very good.
But they would have won Pulitzers if we had published them. All right, here's a better bounce back win for Florida this year. South Carolina after LSU or Vanderbilt after Georgia?
Me?
Yeah.
South Carolina, Pat. Because if you play LSU on the road toe-to-toe, if you score touchdowns on those 2 red zone things where they came up empty, you got a 42-42 game. So Florida came out of that loss feeling good about themselves, but it was a loss. To have an open date and come back a road game at South Carolina, if you lose that game, then you're really in trouble. So the fact they came in there, it was raining, they did what they had to do to win the game.
11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, 12 o'clock game.
12 o'clock game.
It's raining.
They had momentum going.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I cannot agree. The Vandy after Georgia game was big in that we had just seen Florida the year before do the opposite.
Yeah.
After Georgia get destroyed.
Total tank.
Not be ready. But I think that helped them for that game. But
I think playing Vandy instead of Missouri also probably helped.
Playing Vandy always seems to help teams.
They can cure you.
All right, this year, we were on the road a lot, but what was the strangest thing you saw on the road?
To me, it was the pregame Miami Camping World. The atmosphere was
It was weird.
It was like people going crazy. I mean, people dressed up in weird things. Well, I'm not talking about Florida fans, I'm talking about Miami fans. It was just weird.
But even, there was just things going on around that were just, remember we got stuck behind that bus that was an advertising bus and he was going 1 mile an hour because he wanted to show off his advertising?
And because we took 5 laps around the stadium, we saw everybody.
We did see.
Every tailgate out there.
Yes. It was weird. It was just strange. But you always get that with Miami because Miami is a different crowd, certainly. And their fans they're angry.
Yeah.
And they're angry at Florida. They always are, and they always will be. And they're angry after the game.
Yeah.
No question about it.
I remember covering one Miami FSU game, Pat, in Tallahassee back in the early 90s. And, there's FSU fans everywhere, and these, like, musclehead Miami guys come up, start walking the stadium. They're getting booed. They're just going, come on, come on. It's kind of their attitude,
Yeah.
Come on, bring it.
I remember we were going to South Carolina one time, and Karen was in a different car with other girls. They were having a girls' trip, and we stopped in Jacksonville, and they were wearing Gator stuff.
So you were stalking them?
No, and we went to the Minute Mart or whatever to get drinks, and we came back, and there was a Miami fan there. He started screaming at him. They don't even play. and he's screaming at him about the flop and all this.
Oh, my God, that's going way back.
But that's the difference in Miami. All right, Florida's second best win this year. We acknowledge that their best win obviously was Auburn. The Auburn win helped their ranking very much, as we know this year. But what was the second best win?
To me, it was FSU, Pat, because you had to finish the year with a win in that game. So to me, to go out and play well, I know Florida fans were nervous about it going in. FSU has these dynamic playmakers on offense, even though they won 2 in a row under Hagan. So, there was a big build-up to the game. It was a game you felt like Florida needed to win. It would kind of mess up the whole season. It would kill the momentum, but they came through and played really well.
Yeah, and there's no question about it. You know how I feel about the Kentucky game, though. We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
That game was to me the thing that kept this season from going south. And I don't know where south would be, 7-5, but it certainly gave that team a lot of confidence and the ability to come back.
It changed the whole tenor of the year and the way that team played.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then last, here's a philosophical question for you.
Yeah.
Why was the Swamp back this year? And we both agree that it was back.
Yeah, and I think Dan Mullen's the reason it's back. Like we talked, his first year, the Swamp wasn't really the Swamp anymore. But they won games and fans started to believe. And then he called them out this year to help us get it back to what it was. And they responded and made the Swamp again.
No question about it. He called them out. I mean, and his whole, like the first year, his line about, when you guys show up, we'll win, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Everybody went, no.
No, you win first. Yeah.
You win, and then we'll start showing up. But I think in the second year, they bought into what he was selling.
They did.
And they said, all right, we're going to show up. Yeah, the crowd for the Vanderbilt game was
I know, I was predicting really
80,000. I didn't think anybody would be at that game.
I know. And like 20 minutes before kickoff, you're thinking, where is everybody? But, man, they filled it in pretty good.
Yeah, and like for the Florida State game, that's a bad FSU team coming in here, but the crowd was great.
Great atmosphere.
As I've said before, the Auburn game was the best atmosphere I've seen kickoff to end of the game ever at the Swamp. So
undefeated at home, Pat.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do.
And last year they lost twice at home.
Yeah.
So you would give
one a blowout loss
for not coming. Yeah. Say, hey, look, when you start winning again. But I do think that the fan base said, Coach Mullen's right. Let's show up. Let's make it the Swamp, and it'll make it harder for the other team to win.
And the Swamp is back.
I agree with you 100%. We agreed on some things.
Yeah.
Not all. All right, that's going to do it. That is our wrap-up of the entire season. Just all that in just, what was it, 27 minutes? We wrapped up the entire regular season. And we'll do, again, another Swampcast from down there, Facebook probably. Because, we'll have to do it.
Because Brad can't make the trip with us.
He can't. But we'll do one kind of previewing the Florida-Virginia game. And, I hope everybody's excited. Come on down. We'll be down there. Should be a big Gator crowd.
Buying
drinks for everybody.
But Mullen talking about the Swamp.
Find them.
Mullen's kind of called the Gators out saying they're going to have a huge Gator crowd down there. And I think they will turn up.
We'll see. We'll see how it ends up. Anyway, we appreciate Brad McClenny for doing this, and we appreciate all of you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm getting a little hoarse. Now I got to go do a podcast. All right, that's going to do it for Pat Dooley, Robbie Andreu, the Gainesville Sun. So long from the Sunshine State.